Are you sure you want to start streaming? I don't know. You tell me. Come on, you stupid thing. Come on, mean. Come on, mean. There we go. Oof.
I don't know why I keep thinking I want Jason here. I actually kind of like Minotithe. So oh wait, no. Cultivator works. I'd probably play Mana Confluence more than I have in the past. Normally, I don't play it too much. It does go to the battlefield. I feel like I never play with Bloom Tender. I guess Lauren is alright. Spellbinder. actually don't really like Aether Channeler that much. Hmm. Yeah, Topiary Stomper's kind of funny. I can't flicker that as an enchantment, so it's not as exciting. Yeah, not as exciting. I don't know if the Overlord's... I mean, the green Overlord is always good, though. Knight of Autumn is another interesting one. It might just be better than Lauren. Though gaining life is irrelevant. It's kind of the same, except Lauren's easier to cast. Technically. What about Uro? Flickering Uro is funny. Sort of. Not that funny. Solemn Simulacrum is just another version of my commander. It wouldn't be really all that amazing to me. It's the same mana cost too. It does the exact same thing. I like Thragtusk, but I also don't think I should play Thragtusk. Landfall? Because it makes... Wait a minute. Okay, so... Conjures a land and also creates rampant growths. What are lander tokens? Do they have to tap themselves? Create a lander token, it becomes a 2/1. Oh, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? Because now you can't tap it immediately. Because it becomes a creature with summoning sickness, so you can't then just sack it. That's kind of lame, actually. I don't like that. I'd rather them just not be too... Although, maybe it's just fine, because it still makes a land itself. It's not a big deal. Most of the planets don't matter other than just creating lands. What am I doing with all that mana? Landfall is something that comes to mind. So, like... What? Wait, that's not all of... That's not all of them. Springheart, most things. Win the game on its own. Win the game on its own. Inevitability. Tat-Yova's kind of interesting. I guess Tat-Yova's interesting. But, I don't know. Cost mana. Can't say you're ever upset with it when it's in play, though. What is Nissa drawing? I'd rather probably have Nissa. It's better earlier, and what does it draw? Elemental or Elf? Alright, so it has some hits. I mean, Bant Flicker stuff is not anything new. Mostly it's blue-white. I can't flip Tamiyo, so maybe I don't care about it. Best to maybe just not play it. Yeah, I can't really flip it. With that being said, I probably do want something like Brainstorm in here. I also probably want the new Thoughtseize. Thought Partition. This card is just really gross. Although it's the same logic with Thoughtseize. I kind of don't care about a single copy of a discard spell. It's whether, like, I either have more than one or none at all. World Weave? Oh, yeah. I didn't craft that one yet. I don't think I got one, did I? Whoops. I don't think I got a World Weave. No, I didn't. Ugh. I don't want to craft it. I got all the commanders, but I just didn't get this one. Oh, it's such a good card. It's good forever, too, isn't it? Every green deck under the sun is going to want it. I have 36 creatures. Well, I'm going to have to craft it or get my hands on one eventually. But it does mean I don't have my mythic to play another commander in the future. When this attacks a random land in your deck, it becomes a basic island. So you can use fetch lands to find it. And then when it enters, you draw. That's wild. No. I don't think I'm gonna... No. Could do that with, I think you would... You basically have to play Terramorphic Expanse Evolving Wilds. Because it's just so random. When it hits a fetch land, yeah, you could find that fetch land and then find another... I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot. A random land in your library is probably one of the most inconsistent things possible. In just Magic in general. It's what makes Grax so just awful. So bouncing... The lander tokens are artifacts, so it works with Urza? But that's about it. Assuming I don't just use them for rampant growths anyways. Maybe Urza doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'm ripping the band-aid off of World Weave. I'm just gonna send it. I'm ripping the band-aid off. Band-aid is being ripped. Do-do-do-do-do. Slightly more interaction is possible, but I don't know. I'm ready to go right now, so I'm gonna just go and see what happens. Change it as we go. Alright, we're here with Vv'viza, Orbital Overseer. 4-mana 4/4. It's from the new set, new card. Flying Vigilance. When it enters, you conjure a card from your choice on of the planets onto the battlefield, and then when it attacks, you get the Rampant Growth token. That's a 2/1 flyer. So the Rampant Growth token has Summoning Sickness because it is a 2/1 flyer. You can't decide not to do that. Kind of unfortunate, but still take it. Why not? It's not like you're not getting a land when this enters. So most of these lands, if you haven't already seen them, are kind of good when it comes to their ability. Like the white one is good. The blue one is, well, you know, in the kind of deck it likes to be in, phenomenal. The black one is kind of weird. The red one is probably exceptionally terrible, relatively speaking. And then the green one is just Gaia's Cradle. So they're all over the place, but I don't really envision myself ever truly stationing them. You have to tap 12 power to actually make them have their bottom ability. So it takes a while to get there, and then you also have to continuously get value after you've done that. The most value on top of everything is you just played, what is it? Solemn Simulacrum, the old Solemn Golem in your command zone, just a 4-mana card that creates a land that puts it into play. So that's just the power of that. The Bant Flicker idea comes to mind. That's where at least I went with this. There's probably more I could go in that direction, or less. I don't know. I'm just all over the place with it. Then the good green cards, counter spells, all that jazz. Yeah, Golos at home. The attack lander token is just stats, and it's evasive stats. And if you need mana, you can just turn them into lands instead of 2/1 flyers. I suppose it really depends on what's going on in any given matchup. But if I find myself, which I almost expect it to find myself doing, with so much mana, I don't know what I'm doing with it. We'll probably end up running crazy stuff like Eldrazi and whatnot, because it just seems like it's possible to generate that much mana, especially when you have this enter the battlefield 3 times. But for now, it sort of stops at 5, and it's got a bunch of the old Bant Flicker beatdown nonsense. So, let's see what happens. This seems pretty straightforward to build, I guess. And that should be a positive. Well, I can do my quest. Huge. Disa the Restless. Do not recognize. Oh, the Tarmogoyf spammy thing. Alright, nice. Probably have to take a Boiler Grazer, which is funny. Never really upset with that. Well, a little upset with it, I guess. It could be worse, though. It could definitely be worse. Kind of confused as why they're contemplating this. I think you take Grazer... Wow. Alright, well, sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm always taking this. It, in my opinion, was the strongest card in my hand. But alright. Verdant Spaghetti. Alright. Actually looks like spaghetti. One could be convinced. So if I play this, I have my commander the turn after. Probably a good idea, because I don't know if Aether Channeler matters. I'm going to go ahead and say it kind of doesn't. If my commander dies, it is one of those kinds of commanders that endlessly pays for itself. So that is a significant boon to what it does. I'm just going to block that, I guess. Like, I could just keep casting it as long as I have a land drop. An extremely powerful effect, to say the least. Eldritch Evolution, not a good sign. Oh no, my lander token. Could have played the land they didn't know about, but I didn't. So, let's do the green one. And then, can I crew whenever I want? Only as a sorcery. Alright, I'm not going to station because it's so unlikely to matter. It's exceedingly unlikely to matter. Alright. Green? Or blue? Probably blue. I don't think I need more green for any reason. Oh, this has Vigilance, too. Right. Forgot. It's got the old Vigilance. Again, I'm just not going to bother stationing. Let's bounce the treasure token, because my opponent does need mana, it seems. Let's just bounce that so they can't, like, just freely get the 4th mana source. Momentary blink. I have options of what I can target. I don't need more mana, so I don't necessarily want to target my commander. I could just do this. Not the strongest thing to be doing, though. Aether Spark in that thing. Huh. Yugi. Alright, they kept that on top. This pesky little 4/4. I don't see a reason to cast either of these right now. So I'll just untap. Alright, that kind of paid off quite significantly. Now I have Solitude spam. What did they discard? Mossborn? Okay, so given the outcome of, or the trajectory this game has taken, taking Mossborn appears to have worked out. Yeah, at this point, I don't think, again, there's any reason to crack these. It's kind of cool that you're, like, forced to make a choice, because you can't just pay 2 like a clue token, it has to tap. I kind of like that dynamic. Because I can't just sack it now for any reason. And this one has Summoning Sickness. So this is the awkward part of it, but I'm sure they did it on purpose. Maybe they just didn't like the idea of them being, like, endlessly annoying or something. Does this have Reach? Nope. Toxic Deluge for 4. So that kills everything ever. I would like to Momentary Blink the Channeler to draw a card. I can even bounce my commander if I want. I could just bounce my commander. I think I will, so it doesn't get taxed. It's not a big deal if it does get taxed, but I think it's fine to just put it to my hand. I'm okay with this. And then let this happen. Oh. And we can smack our opponent with Solitude. Oh wait, I don't have another white source. Ooh, alright, that's not part of the equation then. Let's do this. You never felt like you needed the, to crack them? That's kind of how I feel. It doesn't seem like I'm in need to crack these, lander tokens so far. Because it creates a land anyways. But you never know. It is just like compiling pressure the entire game. They're not legendary, right? Yeah, no, I can keep making the same one. It also just color fixes you. I'm liking everything this commander's doing so far. They're dead if I had a white card in my hand, but I don't. I might as well do this? I might as well. Well, get in there. Alright, so now they can't really... Well, they're just running out of things that they have... Like, their outs are just kind of small now. I also have 2 lethal threats in the air. I don't know what either of these could possibly be that matters. They're looking at their graveyard. They can't cast Reanimate. That wouldn't really do anything anyways. Maybe it's a Gurmag angler? What do you got? What are you doing over there? With those 3 cards. Alright, sure. Explains why they're looking at their graveyard. This doesn't amount to anything except turning into the Haywire Mite, I guess? Let's see, is there any reason... No, I'm just gonna take this. I'm not convinced this does anything. Alright, I'm going to assume this is the concession. Unless they find specifically Arboreal Grazer, right? Arboreal Grazer does it? I think. Okay, I guess they didn't find it. Wait, you can... Yeah, you turn it face up for... Oh, right, it should... You have to legally reveal them once the game ends. Stitcher's Supplier, Inti, Land, Fiend Artisan, Cosmogoyf. And then a bunch of random stuff. They did have Ragavan in their deck. I wonder what this Eldritch Evolution is doing. Alright, yep. The old Bant versus Jund situation. Felt like a classic experience. Alright. So, the infinite mana issue did happen. I can maybe try to do something about that. Are there slightly more... what's that warp card? Not this one. This one? I think I'm going to play that one. What about you? What do you do? Permanent enters... So this is also kind of interesting. It's kind of a lot of mana for something like that. This is effectively Brand's Bronzebeard from Hearthstone, right? It does doubles Battlecry effects. I think it's effectively the same exact card, except it costs 4 instead of 3. They're new cards. I haven't really played much with them, so I guess I can find a spot for them. What was the... It was another reason I came in. Oh, just giant expensive things. Oh, just more things that cost 4 is fine as well. I don't necessarily have to play Emrakul or something. I did get slightly color screwed to start. I don't need Mana Tithe. I'm going to just not play with it. Gallagreeters is enters, right? Yep. I also don't think I need Overlord. Alright, let's go there. Hold on. I don't trust the basic lands. I forgot to not trust them immediately. Okay, it really wants more islands than the other two, even though islands are the least represented color. Sure. I feel rather prepared for the stick finger combo side of things. This hand is very strange, so I don't think I like it. This hand is strange but less strange. I can't turn this Provisioner, unfortunately. But yeah, this is... I don't know, ever since I played the combo version, now I'm seeing the combo version all over the place. I wonder why. Like, I literally have never seen this. I went to just play it, and now I'm seeing it everywhere. It's kind of funny. Alright, yeah. My opponent is probably just done because this wins instantly. I'm going to assume it's the combo, and I can just exile the combo piece, and there is just nothing beyond that point that they can do. So, It is an exceptionally vulnerable strategy. Exceptionally vulnerable. But you can just move on like that. In fact, I probably would have gotten twice as many games in had I moved on the way my opponent did just then when I played it. Just accept that you've lost and move on. It's not like you're throwing a temper tantrum. It just actually makes sense to do that. I have the answer in my hand and you can't deal with it. Perforos. Alright. Normally some kind of aggro deck. On the play. Oh, excellent. So Perforos indestructible, it doesn't really matter anyways. Boom. Alright, maybe an army of 1/1s will do something. Alright, they didn't have a 1-drop, and I drew one of the best things I could have drawn, so that's quite significant. They didn't have a 2-drop! Oh my goodness! Alright, so I'm just playing this as a card. We're just playing it as a card. That is more stats. I just want things in play. Actually, you know what? Because I didn't do anything for 2 turns, I guess it's not. It's a the other kind of deck then. Yeah, it's just not the what we thought it was. So play this. Play this. Draw. And then warp stuff for no reason. I want a white or blue. Does it matter? I guess it doesn't really matter. Sure. So this treasure, this, get a white. Menosaurus. And then blow up the Blood Moon? What does this do? Okay, it does stuff I don't necessarily care about. Yeah, let's blow up the Blood Moon so I can play the game again. I don't even think I need to do this, honestly. And then I can warp the Topiary Stomper. I thought I was going to need an army of 1/1s, but as we see, I did not. Exile, beginning of your next end step, discard those cards. Alright, I'm going to not swing for a turn. Probably upkeep Surveil. I imagine this turn is exclusively their commander. Alright, they found a cheaper version of their commander, but it's the same thing. At this point, I'll just start swinging. No, you can't attack me. That doesn't make any sense. Like a food token. Well, no surprise there. Let's do this. I can crew or station one of my space lands, but the red space land actually has value here and could genuinely matter. So let's take that one. It could matter. It could. Let's take their Tanic so they can't win the game next turn, and then swing all out. Like that. Wait, if I swing all out... No, I'm just swinging like this. That's fine. Let's get another white source, I guess. And then effectively dead next turn. I would like to draw. Of course, they have that happening. Excellent. Suppose it tracks. Burn spell to boot. I guess you can now swing. Yeah, you can swing if you want at this point. It looks like they don't. Swords to Plowshares. Should probably Swords to Tannic, so I yet again don't lose a game on the spot. And I guess I can station, because taking 4 doesn't matter. And I'll hold the land in my hand. There's no reason to play it. I can only activate the station once. But it's technically slightly more damage. Oh, I can activate it twice. Alright, never mind. Alright, well, they found the other version of their commander. They just literally had all of them. Fascinating. Well, it just had all of them. Suppose it would make sense. Yep. Suppose that tracks. Why not just have every single sneak attack effect? All in the same hand. You got it. And the perfect sweeper, too. Well, if I did know what the matchup was, I probably would have just instantly won, because I could have put the Nintaku on the Topiary Stomper and would have won. But I thought it was an aggro deck. And it was on the play, so whatever. Just have it all, I guess. Okay, well, there goes my swords, trying to stop my opponent from ramping. My opponent played 27 mana sources, turn 1. Suppose that tracks. Of course, we haven't been able to do that. Why would we? I'm not going to hold Uro just for Essence Flux. I don't like that. I mean, wait a minute. I technically could just do it, though. Could just simply do that. Actually, wait, I should hold this still, because I could technically draw another one. I did not. Alright. Alright, well, maybe we caught back up with the mana development without putting a card under a Mox. That is kind of interesting, but I can find better, probably. Let's get the white one. Alright, so I have Uro next turn. Wait. I can have her on next turn. Blue? Sure. Okay. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature, creatures in your library get larger. Okay, that's interesting. Let's play Uro. I could warp the Starfield Vocalist as well. Could just hardcast it? No. Blue. Boom. And then I'd have blue-green, boom, boom. Yeah, so cast it for realsies, and then do that. Alright, look at that. Oh, maybe I didn't want to play that land. Oh, wait, yes I did, yes I did, yes I did. Alright, well, they had an extremely explosive opener, but it looks like I'm somewhat stabilizing. This is a Vigilance Ward 820. What else does it do? Damage isn't removed from it. All damage dealt to your primary control is dealt to this instead. Sure. Interesting. Oh, that's a pretty solid card here. I can swing with Uro and just have it get blocked by this. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I could also just make it unblockable if I want it. Yeah, let's actually do that. I'm going to make this unblockable. That way they just simply can't kill it, and then it just exists as a problem layer. I still don't care about this perpetual thing here. It's not too concerning. I will counter this. I don't think it's underrated at all. I had a long conversation about why I think everyone under the sun should now play that counterspell change equation. It is at an all-time best right now. Any green hate is completely viable currently. Alright, there we go. We keep our Uro. Yeah, make your treasures. I don't really care about those. I care more about the cards you could randomly draw. Turn my hand into a good hit. Come on! Alright, so get rid of these. There is not a lot of reason to hold the lands. Oh, come on. Gonna need more than that. Okay, well, all things considered, they had pretty good remaining cards. Of course they did. Oh my, please. Literally anything. Double land off of 2 surveil lands. Okay, alright, yeah, you got it. Why not? Why not? I mean, good lord. Yep. So, swing with you. I will not make Uro unblockable. Land. What is going on? Brainstorm was 3 lands. Surveil 2 was 2 lands. Surveil 2 was 2 lands. Uro Draw was a land. They gave me another Uro trigger, so that's why I wanted them to be able to block it. Land. Excellent. World Weave. Alright, a little too late for that. It actually doesn't really do much at all. Neither do any of my... Oh, I guess I could crew this. Create a token as a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control. So I can target my... I can't... No, I have to keep Uro untapped. I have to keep Uro untapped. I don't have a choice. Because I really need to block with it. So yeah, I can't do that. Can't afford to do that. Create... Whenever you attack, choose one. Greatest power among other attacking creatures. Or the number of attacking creatures. Okay. Opponent bins Journey to Nowhere. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that wasn't doing anything. Wait, what? No, that's not a situationally viable option there. Well, deck thinning. Be gone, random land. Felia. Alright, well that has text on it, I guess. Ooh, wait. Okay. I almost didn't see that. I almost didn't see their health total was just being dead. That's really funny. Oh, man. Okay, so my opponent would still have to draw something significant to get out of this. But, I mean, their track record was good. An extremely explosive start. It was Elvish Mystic, Utopia, Sprawl, Chrome. Most people would probably just concede if they saw that. But, yeah, we drew a metric boatload of mana all back to back, but we did see a lot of cards, so all it really took was like one of those cards to be very good to kind of break parity, and we just were flying over their head. Yeah, we got through the giant turtle thing. Yeah, oh, crazy game. Alright. We got through it all. We got through all of that nonsense. Another game where my assessment of having too much mana, nothing to do with it, has been accurate. Oh, I got that. Yeah, look at that. We got the red space land. Excellent. So more things to do? Could probably get rid of a land as well. Probably. I'm kind of blown away. I'm just... How many lands I drew there. It's just kind of ridiculous. I mean, think of all the surveilling too. It was like 4 surveils were lands. Brainstorm was 3 lands. Uro was lands. Draw for the turn was lands. It was just insane. I still won. So what cares about? I mean, at this point, it feels like Tatyova would be actually a viable idea here. Haven't seen Uro perform that well in quite a while. Quite a while. This card is also kind of funny. Is this... I mean, this is just so ridiculous. Random land in your library gets whenever it becomes tap draw. I mean, if this works, it's gross. What's the other one? Like the other random land card specifically, what does it say? When it enters draw, so it only happens once, and this has to attack. And then this says whenever a land enters, so this doesn't require combat, which is quite ideal. Does this one fly? Oh, this one at least flies. Becomes a basic island in addition to the... Random land you control enters a random land near... It's so ridiculous. There's just no way. I can't. I can't do this. Why are people... No, come on. Come on. Like, really. 5-mana Elish Norn? If it hits a basic, I can fetch it. If it hits a basic plains and I only have Misty Rainforest, I cannot get it. So that's actually not true. It's not an auto grab just because it hits a basic. I don't then always have a way to find said basic. It would be better hitting like Headquarters, but I'm taking Headquarters with my first fetch land most of the game, most games anyways. So that just doesn't make sense. If I want to draw cards, why don't I just play a card that draws cards instead of randomly finding cards 10 years later? Once it gets going, whenever this land becomes... The thing I like about this is you only need it to enchant one land that you find. And then you draw with Phyrexian Arena level power. So you only need it to do it once. Oh, it's so ridiculous. I mean, I like it better than this one by quite a large margin, because this A has to attack, and B only happens once on the land. But this one can keep happening. I don't know, it's like a weird Phyrexian Arena. That's just ridiculous, though. Alright, wait, what did you say? 5-mana Elish Norn? This is another version of the Bard. Yeah, why not? It shuts down some things. I mean, sometimes it just wins. It's a card that costs more than 3, which I've been having mana flooding. Might as well spend it on something. Seek New Knowledge is also viable. Seek New Knowledge is probably just better than this in every conceivable way, but this is a new card, so... Did I take a land out? I didn't. I think I will take a land out. Probably an island? This is a fair amount of double blue, but not a lot of it. Yeah, I could probably take an island out pretty easily. I do not have Cultivate in here. Probably won't play it. I'm feeling Okay. There's actually a lot of MBFCs in here. Another issue with this is if it hits fetch lands, I just look like an idiot. Yeah, this card is just bad. Maybe take out the 2-minute cloud shift. Ow. I could take out this as well. I don't think the flicker spam thing has really mattered that much. And I don't need to stockpile flicker effects to feel good about my games. Alright, yeah, that's fine. It just doesn't seem like that's something I'm constantly trying to do anyways. I like it as kind of a splash option. Alright, I've yet to play against this sliver. I'm sure it still does the same thing most 5-color things do. No, I don't like this hand at all. I mean, I like the cards in it, but I can't, like, get to them. So white, white, and then one of the others. Green. Looks like my opponent has a Mox. Would be the case here. Let's do, I think, white. White seems right here. Notably, no 1-mana green spell from this deck. Basic forest, though. Okay. Still assuming this is a Mox. I can play green, white, play U and U, and then tap land? Yeah, I don't think I care to leave up Cloud Shift. I'm not really sold on trying to protect either card in play. Basic forest is interesting. This makes me have to think about stuff here. It is Chromox. Okay, I was right about that. Very strange time to cast Chromox, but Chromax has been cast nonetheless. It finds black mana. They do not use it, so they shouldn't have done that. They could have waited. This does not tap for mana currently. No big deal. The bull. It doesn't really matter. I'll just get the blue one. And then we pass. Alright, my opponent has had plenty of time to do the thing they want, unfortunately. They cannot attack me, though. I mean, that's no big deal. I can just start swinging next turn. No, you cannot. There's no attacking me. So I can bounce. Well, what is bouncing the? What does bouncing their commander really do? They can just recast it. Maybe that's fine, though. Like, they just have to recast it. Maybe that's just fine. I probably should have led with Brainstorm. Get rid of these. Yeah, I probably should have led with that, honestly. I'm gonna just get Breeding Pool untapped and not try to run into mistakes. I'm going to argue they have to recommit their commander. I would make that argument here. Alright, so now I can't counter it. This is probably one of the very rare instances where Cavern names basically their entire deck. Because of course it does. Alright, that's an excellent thing I was able to counter. That is actually huge. Tempo cannot be created nor destroyed. Merely transferred from one play to the other. Let us draw a card. Hey, we got the funny card. Look at that. We did something. Swords of Plowshares. Rather ideal. I could bounce one of the cards in play, but I don't really care about either of the cards in play, so I won't do that. Like, they're just stats. They're just combat-based slivers, and I have combat-based slivers taken care of. It's the non-combat-based ones that I do not have taken care of. I can respond to the trigger, which is really nice. Because otherwise I could not do that. Tapped into the station? I mean, it doesn't do anything, but I guess I didn't. Sure. It would tap for 1 additional mana if I had it stationed here. Oh, 2 additional mana to cast the card in my hand. I'm confident to mill with Molt Tender. I do have Uro in my deck. Alright, so there is the green opener in this 5-color sliver deck, so I called that out correctly. Mill. Hey, that was actually a pretty ideal mill. So, play that. Swing with an extra 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2-turn clock. Not really convinced that's a good idea, because Birds of Paradise could still always block. So I'm just going to swing like this. They don't have to block quite yet with the birds. They could wait a turn. Alright, they just do it now. It's fine. And we crack this. Any basic? Well, if it's a plains, I can't get it anyways. How do I know which one it is? Oh, there it is. Alright, it's on a pathway. Excellent. Let's get that. Well, I don't want to draw that. And then bounce the Chrome Mox? Why would that matter? It could matter. But it also most likely won't. So I'm just going to draw. Touch of the Spaghetti Noodle. Sure. When do you get this back? End step. Faceless Agent. Sure. None of that blocks the air. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't make anything unblockable to then kill my opponent. But haste doesn't do that much for my opponent, as they would then need to Fair's protection, that, removal, slivers, stock up extra turns, ramp spells, spell pierce, okay. Interesting. I mean, it all has menace, so maybe there's a world where it kills me, but I can just bounce the menace sliver if they alpha strike, and then they just lose. I can't bounce enough to... Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. Let's put a stop here. Let's see. Bounce that in that. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? Huh? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's now not even lethal. Yuki? I could just toss that in the way. Just to be extra cautious here. Okay, and then just do this. No need for a stop anymore. Bounce the green. Actually, it doesn't matter what I bounce, but I'll just bounce that one. Doesn't matter. And now they're dead. Right? Skrelv making the Soul Herder unblockable? Oh wait, you can't do that, right? Yeah, I can't choose colors. They block 6. 1, 2, so 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay, yeah, they're just dead. They blocked the Soul Herder. Alright, yeah, so I should have bounced the colorless one. So then I could make this unblockable for green. And then they can't block it. Because I can't, it's not Giver of Runes, then I can't name colorless. But, yeah, let's say they block that. They take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they're dead anyways, but something that I should have considered, though. Cool. And this card did nothing. Awesome. Except be a 1/3. Another game, I ran out of cards, but by the time I ran out of cards, I had too much going on. My opponent couldn't do anything. I feel like we're navigating things well. Probably don't need Flare of Cultivation, although you still have the ability to win with Flare, just with Kami Grazer. That's just not true. Charming Prince, Yorion, they go back and forth. It's not really necessary. Charming Prince in the meantime also not really that exciting. Could just do... Again, the flicker thing is not nearly as crucial as I had thought it was going to be or anything like that, so... Could just take that out and do something else. What's a big scary card? River's Rebuke, Cyclonic Rift. Sphinx's Revelation. Flickering Kogla is funny, and then I can pick up Kogla with 7 different cards in my deck. 7 different cards with Kogla. Apparently. Faceless Agent is another really good one to pick up over and over. Mostly gets an elf. Mostly. But the main thing is it just doesn't draw a land when it does its draw. It just finds stuff. I mean, well, if it draws Elvish Mystic, it is sort of like drawing a land. But it can just draw anything. It can draw Nissa, not too upset with that. I don't know, it's just something to do. Kind of don't like Spellbinder. Yeah, I don't think I need Spellbinder. I'm going to just not play that. Tempoing my opponent's cards is kind of okay, but it's also not that amazing. Have yet to play Bloom Tender. This is a game where I just can't play Bloom Tender, ideally. Renin 6 on the play. Ugh. Oh, come on. Come on. So, get rid of you? Yeah. Alright. Well. They don't have a 1-minute card. I suppose that's ideal. I can just play that as a land. I can play Ambassador next turn, hilariously. This is exceptionally slow and loses to Strip Mine on the spot. Renin 6 turns are so slow. Takes forever to do anything with this card. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with white. Do this. Probably a good idea to put as many lands in play as possible so I have just the best chance to not lose to Strip Mine. Which still just kind of gets me. Okay, they use the basic land one instead of the other one. Okay. Another turn I didn't lose immediately. Cool. Love to see it. Commander it is. Sure. Let's get a white. Alright, so the avenue to that is at an all-time low. I don't see why I wouldn't just crew. I'm just gonna station. Because I can't block. I'm just gonna station. Can't block, can't swing. Just station. Doesn't really do much, but who knows? I mean, I have wait. Create a token as a copy of... Yeah, I can technically copy Touch of the Spirit Realm. Technically. Oh boy, another incredibly slow turn from the Renin 6 player. Because they have so many things to do. Exciting. They didn't want this. I don't know why. They surveilled and then shuffled anyways. Again, I don't know why. Cool. Apparently I get to play. So, take out Vv'viza. And then here, there's not much incentive to swing with one more damage. So I'll just play it safe. And pass the turn. Okay, this doesn't get trample from its own ability or anything like that. Chandra. Well, countering it with Flare doesn't make any sense now, does it? Fortunately, killing my commander also doesn't advance you significantly or anything. I can just let that happen. I don't think I'm countering Chandra. Wait, what? Why? Okay. I'm not sure why this 1-3 was such a threat to my opponent, and I don't know why they didn't do that pre-combat. But okay. So, swing and kill Chandra, and then bounce the Cultivator? Could just get this land. Probably should, even though it's on the worst possible thing imaginable. I could flicker Bristly Bill, but I think it can just become lethal next turn regardless, so I don't know why I would do that. I can leave them with Vv'viza and just pretend like Vv'viza can't do anything. Bouncing Bill doesn't do anything. It can kill me next turn regardless. It doesn't matter. I don't think my opponent needs more mana, so I'm going to just try to do that. Oh, alright. I made a kind of significant mistake. I forgot they get the card back and they can block. They didn't block. So apparently Vv'viza has value in terms of my opponent's understanding of things. And then just take... Yeah, let's just take the bill. Alright. Could have taken a Vv'viza, but I'm under the impression more mana doesn't do anything for my opponent unless it's specifically Strip Mine. Because then it does do something. Sure. They could be thinking I have Solitude, maybe. It's effectively the same. Alright, well, they found Strip Mine, because of course they did. That is me losing the game, so... Now it's a question of can I win through infinite Strip Mines, and I don't think I can. I can take the Vv'viza and then just try to deal with Bristly Bill. Does that have Vigilance? No? Okay. That stays as a creature? Of course it is. Of course it does. You know, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Let's cast our commander. Actually, hold on. Kill. There's too many issues. There's too many problems here. Too many problems. Okay. So I'm surviving strip mine spam at this point. Sort of. Nope, cool. Silly me. Alright, well, that was a game. Wouldn't say it was a waste of my time, but I did sort of just dirtle and do nothing against a deck that just will eventually strip mine me, and I will lose the game. So. I think I could have played that better. It was still the same outcome. Yeah, that's just lame. Whatever. Can't win them all, I guess. Unless you're my opponents. Then you can. So, green, white, leave up Felia, even though it's not really doing anything. They're really peeking at my mana for some reason. Sure. No way you have a 1-mana removal spell? I refuse to believe it. I'm not going to play Skeet Swarm. I don't like that card. Let's see. Let's play this untapped and then think. If I let that resolve, when this enters, target creature opponent controls gets minus danger noodle till end of turn. Okay, we just let that resolve, and I can just touch the spirit realm. So, Commander, blue, probably trade Felia with the Echo and just flicker my Commander. I feel like that's the best Felia will do at this point in the game, and I'm totally okay with that, so. Decline. I am perfectly fine with this. Because it's only going to get harder and harder to actually cast Or swing with Felia and have it, like, actually do anything. Another blue, another white. Let's get a white source. And, yeah, let's pass. Alright. Alright, we have all the mana in the universe. I'm not going to crack the fetch land if I can help it. No reason to. Could genuinely think about the black or red space lands more. Notably the black one. It would, in some instances, actually give me something to do. But I need black mana to do that. I don't just have black mana at, like, every game or something. I don't envision myself Utopia sprawling for black. Murderous Rider on that. Does that matter anymore? No, not really. I think the game is beyond that point. I'm not going to counter a Murderous Rider. I'll trade with Fiend Artisan, because Fiend Artisan is really problematic. I'm actually kind of surprised my opponent is letting me do this. Oh, alright. Well, I guess that makes a little bit more sense. They could have actually milled too, and that would have done the same thing. But yeah, taking care of Fiend Artisan here is very nice. I'm very surprised they did that. I'm not going to lie to you. So recast my commander. Yeah, I'm always recasting it. No Scute Swarm value. I'll just get a colorless one. That's fine. Play this. Oh, I shouldn't have played that. Oh my... I shouldn't have played that. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Whatever. That's fine. It's impossible to get punished. It doesn't exist. Literally can't get punished. It's just not possible. Okay, sure. It looks like I wasn't punished. Man, if this lander token had haste, we'd be so happy. Does this do anything else? Nope. They just put in stats. Wait, what? Oh, no, that makes sense. What am I talking about? Wait a minute, does it? It must. Well, more... No, the lander token's enough. I don't need another fetch land. I just don't need that. Let's block that. Take 6. Well, that is not that useful right now. So I can swing with you, and swinging with Scute Swarms is kind of irrelevant. I can swing with the original, I guess. Swing like that. No, I can't. I guess I can actually swing all out. There's not really anything they can do about it. And there's no reason to hold this card. Well, there kind of is. Yeah, there kind of is reasons. Okay. Dead to a land River's Rebuke. That does kill me. It's essentially my opponent's last turn, so they gotta make something happen. I mean, if it's River's Rebuke, they would have just snapped it off, so I'm not sure what this is. It can't be Casualties of War. Could be spot removal. No idea. Fling? Is there a fling? Toxic Deluge for 1? Okay, that does it. Of course, I'm maxed punished. Absolutely, utterly max punished for not casting my World Weave. Fascinating. Alright, cool. You got it. There's definitely a way to win that. There's absolutely a way I could have won that game. Well, so far not at a single station across any game I have played a stationed land would have done anything. So, I mean, if you want to, but not a single game it has mattered. And across all five of the things there. This hand needs some serious help. Oh yeah, oh, that adds up. Well, guess I'm just playing those. And then losing to a board wipe. Bloom Tender. Sure. Have not cast a single spell yet. not chosen this way. So that thing. Play my commander. Taps for 3. So you... Okay. I'll LARP the station. For no reason. Oh, LARP the station. Well, that doesn't do anything. Okay. Bestow. Play this. Sink into Stupor gives me lines that I might not have had before. I don't know. Oh, they milled it away. Sure. Copying that doesn't matter, so... We're naming jellyfish. green, and I guess red? Well, it doesn't. It still doesn't matter. So, blue. Try to warp, which still doesn't really amount to anything, but I guess I'll cast it. Can I swing? Lose the Spring Heart. They take 2? I don't think it matters because they're dead in one foul swoop, so I'm just not going to swing. Alright, we have all space lands in play. Look at that. That tracks. Swing all out. Probably not winning this game. Seems kind of impossible. Alright, I'm over it. Well, at no point did I make any meaningful decisions. I just watched my opponent play the game for 20 minutes. Fun. I don't even know what to talk about. I just sit there and watch. There's nothing to even say. Just watch my opponent play the game. Probably should have just conceded 10 minutes ago. I don't even know what I'm like trying to do at that point. I'm gonna bounce the bird. Seems valuable. Play this. Please swing, thank you. Well, I'd have to have 2 red sources. I don't have I don't have a way to start to crew the first red station. Like I can't activate it without a second one. And there was no window that I had that. Let's get the headquarters. Well, I would be interested in dealing with the vast majority of my opponent's cards in play, because they're all just extremely good. I will, that one. Yeah, I'd have to conjure 2 of them, but I just couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. by the time I had the second one, the game was already over. I just want to play against one brony that just, like, doesn't have the nuts. That'd be great. They did not play a land yet. I was not expecting that. It feels like that was probably not a good idea, actually. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's get the green one, because I need another green source. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Shit, I should probably have Pock in my deck. I probably should have this in here. We are a green deck after all. I'm just losing to like the craziest, most obscene things. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then my brainstorms look like this. Every brainstorm just looks like this. Like what am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do? Well, I'm over this. I'm wasting my time. This is stupid. I'm losing to mono green. I'm just getting mono greened out. The best things in the format are just completely demolishing me. I can play against the not best things ever, but the best things in the format are crushing me. Yeah, we should probably have Pock in here. I should probably have Pock in here. I do have plenty of fetch lands. Still kind of like Kogla. In that last game, it would have been excellent if I had the mana my opponent had that game. It would have been great, but we didn't, so it wasn't great. Yeah, not only did they have the perfect opener, they had the perfect removal spells for everything. Everything was taken care of. In fact, my opponent was so far ahead, they could sweep their own board. Like, that's how the disparity between me and my opponent was that game. I was barely in that game at any point, if ever. Just got completely wrecked. The Y'shtola matchup was more reasonable, but not that one. Y'shtola just won. Won the way it wins. Slowly and painfully. I wonder if we could play Strip Mine. Azusa Crucible. We could play green cards, so we have the technology. Okay, yep. Best possible card. Excellent. It's actually better than mine, too. That was a really good draw. Currently not that amazing. I think I'm just going to get a forest. Basic forest. And I'm going to do this on white. Right? That's what I'm doing. Those are the things I've done. Thoughtseize. Excellent. Well, there goes my counter spell. Play this on blue? I'll play it on white as well. That's fine. Let's get a... None of them really matter in this... Yeah, we'll just get the white one. And then I'll do some station LARPing. Let's not swing with birds for no reason. The next one I get could be... Well, again, it doesn't... it doesn't matter. Commentary on the stations in particular do not matter. It doesn't matter. What's happening? Oh, they can tap it before they sack it because it works with Dryad. That's funny. You don't normally see that ever, though. Lotus Field. Alright, well, it happened before the Gitrog monster. I don't really know if that matters, but that's what happened. I'm going to do this? No, I shouldn't do this. There's no reason to play another land. I should just start getting in there. There's no reason for me to put another station in play. It's not really accomplishing anything. I'll hold the fetch land for potential landfall cards in the future. Might as well station with Soul Hoarder. Soul Herder. Take action. For the sake of it, just get the red one. And the off chance it matters. They've played a lot of fetch lands so far. Finally does not play a fetch land. Okay. Yeah, leaving the Essence Flux in hand is definitely a good idea. This copies artifact or enchantment, so I can technically copy my thing there. Station. I guess I'll station... I mean, I'll copy the... copy this... the flying threat. The second Esper Sentinel doesn't seem like it does anything. I'm just going to make another one of these. Yeah, they can block the tokens for free. Maybe I shouldn't have swung with it. Okay, they just didn't block them. Interesting. Let's do that. Yeah, maybe the Esper Sentinel was slightly more efficient. Just because I didn't have, like, the mana exactly to even do this anyways. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Probably didn't matter that much. Could have just targeted Esper Sentinel. They could have just hard cast this crocodile. They didn't have to do it the way they just did it. It's interesting. Answer, 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 answer. Love it. Sure. Wait, how can I not cast that again? Oh, I just can't cast Uro? Wow. Well, I got punished for getting the red lands. Well, then you wonder why I never do it. What if I just triple blocked Gitrog Monster? That seems funny. Ephemerate. Oh boy. So... pass? Okay. They get Vorinclex and... Elishnorn? Yep. So there goes my entire hand, actually. Now it just doesn't do anything. Excellent. Cool. Alright, well, Gitrog Monster, every time I play against it, just seems to consistently have the best thing possible. I feel like that's a pretty favorable scenario, unless my opponent specifically has the cards they had. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. I have not won a game in an hour. Crazy. I wonder if Gitrog Monster is now the best commander in the game. I'm actually curious. It's pushing what I think is tolerable in lower brackets. At least from my perspective. I mean, it could be wrong. This is egregiously powerful every time I see it. Well, after something specific here, so I have to draw. Didn't find it. Oh, look at that. Dark Ritual. Oh boy. White source, please? Of course not. Why would I draw a white source? Cool. I enjoyed that game. Nice Dark Ritual. Needed a white source. If I drew a white source, we were perfectly fine in that game. But I didn't draw it. A lot of looks at it. Definitely above 50% chance to draw it. Definitely. Didn't find it. Yeah, I think Gitrog Monster is probably in contention for one of the best decks in the game. If not the best deck in the game. It could change if it goes into a higher bracket, but where it is probably the best deck in the game. Because of its opponents. It's kind of the vibe I've been getting the past month now or so. About a month. Felia is interesting. Is it interesting enough to cast? Yes? I don't know. I think I... Well, I have a fetch land, so... Yeah. I can cast Felio. Okay, now I cannot do that because of Chainsaw. Someone chainsawed my Molt Tender. Look at that. That is the green-white Verge, so blue anything. Can I get the... yeah, that thing. That's a tap land, but it's still a land. I'll just take it. Although there's an argument to not taking this. It looks like the next land was actually significantly better. That's actually extremely tragic. Yep. Not really a worthwhile risk. I would never... It's very unlikely I would bin that. Just to look for an untapped land that doesn't seem like a good idea. At least I have bait. Felia is just scary. Like, I don't need it. And my opponent looks like they really want to kill it. There we go. Alright. That works out. Could have played around it with Ancient Tomb. But now I just have something vastly superior. I'm going to dodge burn. If they minus, they might just concede. We'll see. Oh, Tatyova, you're so gross. So gross. Yep, I can do this. I'm not gonna tap Ancient Tomb. Let's get the blue one. Oh, so gross! I'm not gonna even bother clicking the station. It doesn't matter. That's so disgusting. So land... I don't even know what they could do now. I have no idea. Don't even know. That has to kill Tatyova. I'm gonna just Tails in that. No. Let's just do this. Again, I think they're gonna concede really soon. Yep. Too many attempts at my cards and not enough, like, ways around my ways to counter all those things. This was kind of a weird looking... No, this is a typical Clive deck. Again, the only successful Clive, not to, bash on anyone's Clive list, but the only time I've really seen this be successful was when I played it, and it was an aggro deck with Clive as a top end. If I needed to, like, refuel my deck or something. It was actually pretty good as an aggro deck. When it came to, like, the ramp mana rock generation slow burn spell thing, it felt like I was doing what other colors did, vastly worse. And this is kind of an example of that. I mean, if they had the 5 mana deal 5 spell, they'd be sort of back in it, but not really. I can just rebuild rather easily with a commander like this, so yeah. GG's. Yeah, Tatyova. Yeah, there was we had an hour stretch of nothing but losing, though, to be fair. Some of those games were exceptionally long as well, unfortunately. Just a huge chunk of time I just spent losing. Well, I mean, one of those long games, at least I was playing the game, to be fair. Until I wasn't, because they took 5 extra turns in a row. But up until that point, I was actually playing the game. Speaking of playing the game, what is this? Map tokens stuff. Alright. I will most assuredly stop that, because that's how strong it is. I can play Mossborn Hydra next turn. It is one of those you must answer it or die kind of cards, so... How much you want to bet they have, like, no white cards in their deck? I'm not going to play the fetch land, it's just fine, something off the top. I can play it next turn for essentially the same result. What does that do? Okay. Their top deck was Solitude, I guess? Off the top of their deck? Never seen that before. I don't think I have, at least. Let's play Commander? Sure. Would like another green, so Kagwa's castable when my Commander doesn't continue to exist. Again, I think that was off the top. This Eladamri has been beyond God tier so far. That's kind of insane. This has just been beyond God tier. Let's hit the complete nuts. Springheart. Well, looks kind of weird, but it will eventually do something. Alright, let's stop the card that's winning the game single-handedly. Okay. What is actually happening? What is happening? This is just ridiculous. I've been getting completely trampled by, like, the most ridiculous stuff. I don't know. That Eladamri just I got soloed by a 3-mana 3/3. Like, full stop. It did everything my opponent wants to do in every game ever. I don't even know what I can do now. Feel like nothing? I can just do nothing? Cool. Alright, that was fun. Yep. 3-mana 3/3, win the game. I was right, though. My opponent was a mono-green deck. I was actually correct about that. With, like, the giant payoffs being the white cards, like Elish Norn. If I played against that opponent 100 times, that would probably only happen twice. I feel like that was... I just kind of played against my opponent when they had something that will probably never happen to them again. That was absolutely insane. That was completely insane. Alright, against whatever this is, I can't say I recognize it. I don't need that land, so... Why cycle sensor? Well, if you need a land, you cycle sensor. Because it's not like sensor's bad. It's actually quite useful here. What's the green specialize? Deals combat, blah, 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 blah. Sure. Alright. Do we lose the wash away? No, I don't lose the wash away. Let's get a blue. Yeah, the hand looks like it wants a blue. The white one is the only one I can really somewhat use, but I mean, given the context and stuff. I just don't want to do that right now. Alright, they're over it. I already stuck into the board, so it's kind of hard to... Okay, they cycled the sensor, I guess, because their turn 2 was a tap land. That makes sense. Because, again, this is still useful, but yeah, they just had a tap land as their other land. Although, if that's the case, they should have played it turn 1. So, I highly doubt my opponent had just kept a 1-lander with sensor. That doesn't make sense, ever. Contextually, at least. At least I wouldn't imagine. Very strange. I don't know. That was odd. Well, we win when our opponent makes really weird choices. So that's kind of cool. It was a blue-green deck, though. So, essentially one of the stronger color pairings you could possibly have with a rather strange commander. How many opponents of ours have not been green? There's been the Y'shtola one, but other than Y'shtola, how many have there been? I'm kind of curious. I haven't been paying attention. This is good, but probably not what we're after right now. Yeah, it's just not what we're after. Alright, let's see what this can do. I have yet to cast it. It means I can't get strip mined to death. Also, if they strip mine at this point, it might be too slow, because I was on the play with Ancient Tomb. Unless they have an Azusa effect, of course. Mossborn Hydra, also a significant issue. They do have a Mox. Looks like it has nothing to do with the Mox, though. Alright, Mossborn Hydra, significant issue for a red-green deck. They have to have a deal 4 or deal 5. Or Lightning Bolt with Ren. Alright, looks like none of that is happening. Oh wait, no, they have red again. You can't be serious. No way. Come on. Come on, give me a break. I'm losing my mind. Actual shambles. Nothing has worked out so far. Pay 2 life. Let's do this. Play this. Double island. Alright. Oh, there's that. Of course. One of the best cards in their entire deck. Well, we're back to losing to the nuts again. Everyone's just had the nuts. It's actually just ridiculous. This doesn't even matter. Play that, I guess. Doesn't matter. They have shifting woodland. I can't tap my creatures. Just can't tap my creatures here. Oh, yippee, Skrill, yeah. I can swing with my commander just for the sake of it, and then recast it, so I guess I will. It gives me a token, which could matter. I highly doubt it, but it technically works. Killing Ren and 6 doesn't even do anything. Whatever. It's actually insane. Like, everyone's just having everything every game. That's just nuts. I mean, I basically auto-lost to Strangle this game. I don't even know if I can draw anything that matters now. None of the space lands do anything. The black one wouldn't even do anything, so... Yep, I'm over it. Nice Strangle. Box Amber, Strangle, Red and 6. Okay. Yeah, every opponent so far today has had the perfect answer the second half of today's stream. The first half was fine, but the second half I've just lost to effectively the perfect answers in the first 3 turns of the game. I should just start to learn to concede faster, so I'm not just watching my opponent win after they answered it. That's what I really should do. This is a really weird looking hand. Really weird looking hand. What is Soul Herder doing? Do I need it? I don't have a lot of ETBs in, that are super scary to draw currently, but like, let's just exile Sync. I think that's okay. Still kind of interested in all this. Let's play you. Yep. You. That's not what I need. Could have kept the... Well, bouncing their commander with Sync is like not... Ugh, doesn't... Alright. Do you have the Azusa Nuts out of hand? Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Fun. Always have it right out of your hand. Again, losing to the perfect cards. I can't... I'm not able to get away with anything. I literally can't do anything. I had Gemstone Caverns that game. Just not able to do anything. Again, bouncing their commander with Sync is not... I'm not winning when I do that. I have to play Bird's turn... Well, yeah, I'm going to play Bird's turn 1. I think that's... just... I'm actually doing some of the best things you can do as well, and I'm just getting answered. I am doing some of the strongest things in the game. Let's play you. I'd rather this die than the Mossborn Hydra. And I can't play a land same turn, so... What does Reflecting Pool do? Isn't that your opponent's? Nope, it's yours. What's Mirror? I think it's Mirror or something. What are they thinking about? Oh, they got Volatile Storm Drake. I feel like they should have taken the Volatile Storm Drake. Am I misunderstanding something? How do you not take the Provisioner? That's really weird. Oh, it's because you have Mana Drain. Okay, yeah, that's why. My bad. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Every opponent has had the perfect cards. Just, like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, sorry I didn't play around it. My bad. Oh, now they found Damnation, so I lose my whole board. Oh, they didn't take Damnation. How do you not... What? How do you have something better than Damnation here? What could that be? I have no idea. I don't know what possibly is better than Damnation. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh-huh. Okay. Is that better than Damnation? I don't think so. Opponent just sort of decided to not, excuse me, do something way better. Lucky us, I guess. I don't know. Very strange. I still feel like I'm always casting Damnation there, though. That's a little insane. I'm running through the meat grinder constantly. I guess. Yep. It's just not the day. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. This is a game where my opponent declined a free Damnation, by the way. That's this game. My opponent had a Damnation they could have cast and just, like, didn't want to. It's just completely insane. It's kind of funny. Can't help but laugh after a certain point. Alright, I'm over it. This is the part where we must accept we either concede or watch our opponent slowly win. Dark Ritual, Mana Drain, Decline Damnation, Toxic Deluge because I have something better. That's just insane. It's insane! That's crazy! Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I know the format is, it's like the power level is pretty up there, but come on. I should be able to... We were doing fine. For the first hour, we were doing perfectly fine. And then I made some changes to the deck to what I would think is make it a little bit better. And it's not coming together. No, but it is. It is coming together, though, because I've had, like, the 1 mana play into a 3-drop quite often. I've done the thing that is extremely good. I've just been getting swamped by the things that are running into it like it doesn't matter. Like, what I'm doing is good. Right? Like, a matter, just a form of perspective there. Relatively speaking, what we're doing is good. It's just what our opponent's doing has been better. Well, this doesn't work if I don't draw what I need, unfortunately. And even, actually, no, even if I do draw it, it doesn't work. Does this work? Not quite. No, this doesn't work either. It's close, but not quite there. Yeah, then I get caught up complaining for an hour. Not ideal for content. but you have to excuse me. I'm overdue to win a game. I mean, statistically. This hand is good, but it doesn't beat the combo. I don't have any meaningful interaction. Okay, there's meaningful interaction. You can go, and you can go. I think I should take out Urion at this point. Urion's been a little bit of a disappointment. I also just won't ever cast either of these cards, I don't think. But who knows, maybe I'll end up doing that. Okay, it's not the combo deck, so the Blitz Mulligan, less enticing. It was just not the combo. Short, short, short. I need something ideal. That's not quite it. But it's in my battlefield now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what I'm, like, okay. You got it. Yep. I'm gonna take out Urion. Most games, well, actually, not a single time has it done anything, so I'll just take that out. You think about taking a break? I'm just gonna come back, it's gonna be worse. What else hasn't done a single thing? Everything else has done something. Soul Herder... No, it still has some really, really good Soul Herder targets here. I mean, this just hasn't been the problem. More early interaction, but then that takes away early development. And I have a 4-minute commander, so it's not free. Curse's Silence... That's not going to do anything. I'm also playing, like, heavy-handedly kind of the same thing I see out of this deck every time I play against it. So, it's not like I've deviated from the main idea. I mean, I'm doing the thing. I just, like, I wonder if a Planeswalker like Teferi... I thought about Jace the Mind Sculptor. Teferi works as well, about this in the same way, sort of. Feyburrow Elder is okay. Teferi Jace is never really wrong in a deck like this. So let's try Teferi Jace. I could add the 3-mana Teferi, but, well, it costs 4 now. It's also not really working out. It doesn't work in tandem with my deck too well, actually. Bant Tamio. Yeah, that works too because of the plus having text on it. Mind you, none of these cards would fundamentally change any of the games we've lost, but they feel a little bit more interesting just to have avenues, or like, you know, I don't know. Every opponent that could have it has had Toxic Deluge, so I should maybe be more wary of that card. The Mossborn Hydra, we've had it like 5 games in a row, and it has just died before it, like a turn too slow, which is crazy. It's just nuts. I'm probably going to take out the Blink spells. They feel slightly underwhelming now. Lauren has felt underwhelming as well. Yeah, this has felt a kind of meh. If we leave up Spell Pierce, it helps, but that would involve me casting less things that would have gotten hit by the Toxic Deluge Damnation Sweeper stuff in the first place, because I'd be leaving up Spell Pierce instead of tapping out for all my cards. So fundamentally, not really. It wouldn't help me any more than like Ephemerate already sort of does the same thing. Plus more. Let's take out Thassa. Not a single game have I played Thassa. It's not a single time. And even if I do, it's not like it's any better or worse than, say, something like Soul Herder already. Let's just do that. I'm at my wit's end with this commander. Could run way more counterspells, too. You have an 80% win rate with stick fingers. Is it a combo or not? Because I did not have a 80% win rate with the combo version. I was playing it earlier today. No, it was last night. When was I playing it? Well, that doesn't really work out too well. This hand has a bunch of cards in it, so that's pretty cool. We can lead with basic forest as well. Oh yeah, I've not gone near that win rate playing the combo version. Not near that win rate. I don't know what your matchups are, but congratulations. That's kind of crazy. So I should probably deal with that, but I can wait a turn before it really matters. I can station and then float a bajillion blue with my stuff that doesn't matter. Amazing. Did we perfectly discount a 5-mana card? Oh, we didn't. Wow, crazy. Oh, we discounted a mana dork, though. Doesn't... Actually, I shouldn't have done that. The second time I've done that. Let's take out the Fanatic. And then pass. Because I can't station, because then I get hit by their Gitrog monster. And we don't want that to happen. Looks like there's not much going on in their hand, though, so... It's only going to get slightly more difficult as time goes on for them to do stuff. Let's start putting counters on this. Maybe I should have been doing that earlier. Yep. Pass. Oh yes, Ulamog the Defiler, why not? Opponent discounted Ulamog 3 times with the fuel tank. Of course they did. Bunch of other mana dorks in their hand though, but they're gonna hit this 3 times, right? I mean, why wouldn't they? It only makes sense. Yep, perfect unblockable. Fascinating. Does that matter? No, not really. Do I block with this? Yeah, I would say so. Oh man, look at all those lands that go with this card. Excellent. Let's get a blue or green. Could get a white as well. Let's get a green. Don't think that really matters, but I'll do it. Can recast my commander again? Oh, I guess it sort of did matter. Okay. Oh no, it still poked me. Alright, they floated mana for no reason. Interesting. Alright, I think I'm done. Another loss. Alright, I've lost for about 2 hours straight. I have not won a single game. Opponent had perfectly discounted their Ulamog with a handful of mana dorks 3 times so they could cast it really quickly, and then I lost. I'm curious how long I can go without winning now. Now I'm just curious. Now I'm just curious. My MMR must be in the toilet. Let's play the Surveil land. Actually, no, I'm gonna get the headquarters. Okay, let's play this card. I'm just not gonna swing with either of them. I don't think the chip damage has any relevance. So, I'm not gonna do it. No land, of course. Oh, cool. No lands. Wow. Guess that adds up. Let's get rid of you and you. Like that. At least I can world weave lands. Let's get rid of this. Do I want to cast this? Kind of? I kind of want to actually cast that, so. I shall give myself the option. Alright, well fortunately this is completely locked down. That's ideal. I would also like to cast the next card on the top of my deck, which should still be the, whatchamacallit. Let's get blue or white. I guess white. And I can simply just take 4. I can just take 4. Slagstorm, 3 to each creature. 3 to each creature. So, red, red. Let's not get hit by the Overlord anymore because of the Slagstorm. Okay. Okay, that only just gives me 2 lands. I just simply recast it. I think I'll do this instead, though. The power of World Weave, and my opponent's still hanging into it. But we've gotten... It's basically like a 3-minute slowly build your own omniscience. The One Ring, that is fine. I can beat that. I can beat it slowly, but beat it nonetheless. That is an excellent, excellent draw. Probably one of the best draws in my deck. Not gonna lie to you. Though it's probably right to take the Power Stone, because that's where all the mana is coming from. I'm going to take the Power Stone. I know it looks crazy, but that's what I'm doing. Just putting my opponent on a clock and restricting the mana, because they only have 4 lands in play. Going maybe up to 5, but then the clock is very, very, very significant. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't be cracking these. Although I am in top deck mode. Maybe I just have to crack these. Yeah, I would be drawing bad if I didn't. So... just name assassin, it doesn't matter. Still not drawing great. But, I mean, we're drawing pulling a lot of stuff out of our deck, at least. I'd say that's pretty valuable. Swing with all of these. Yep. They block that. I will give that protection from colorless, so it doesn't die. And here's where the One Ring has to be taken into consideration for my opponent. It will start to kill them. And it's difficult for mono red to remove it. Yeah. Even if they warped, I don't really know what they could warp. Honestly, that's a significant threat to me. It cannot be an Eldrazi. It has to be red or artifact. So, like, most things are just taken care of here rather easily. I could have left up Giver of Runes, so if they did get through, I could dodge, like, what is it? Cityscape Leveler, because that's a colorless source. Colorless threat. But yeah, you can see how it makes so much more sense to exile the, what did I exile? The Worn Power Stone instead of the One Ring, because this, in a mono-red deck, is not just untap with it, draw 15, and then win. It's like, use one of the cards you found to win really fast, or this just kills you. In fact, I think they're dead next turn, right? 1, 2, 3, was it 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, they're actually just dead next turn, whereas potentially the extra mana here could have been quite useful for them. But yeah, look at that. World Weaving got how many lands? I don't even know. 1, 2, 3. I think it got 9 lands off of this. Just 9 lands. We saw a third of our deck. This card is just so disgusting. And then if you have any landfall, you actually just win immediately. For the most part, I mean. Yep. Alright, we broke the streak. I actually broke the streak. I've been looking at 6 wins for 2 hours. Kind of crazy. If I knew that was going to happen, I guess I could have stopped streaming 2 hours ago. What else is... I mean, when it comes to card advantage, we were kind of struggling. This is why I like Seek New Knowledge, because it can't hit lands. It can't find lands. Could probably remove Essence Flux Cloud Shift, because again the flicker strategy has been kind of lame. So I could get rid of like this and this. Split up? I guess? I wouldn't say that's terrible. I don't think that's bad. Definitely Seek New Knowledge. Keep talking about it. I think I want it. I don't like Choice of Fortunes as much. There is this thing. Secretly choose land or non-land, and you get that. I actually like this card, although it doesn't... it does have an actually... Yeah, alright. I like that more. It has a solid ETB as well for flicker effects, even though I have taken out a couple of them. The flicker spells have been the weakest thing in the deck. That is for sure. That we can parse out. That we can parse out. I really do like that Azure Wing thing. Well, I have Mana Drain. I've actually not cast Mana Drain yet. It's funny. I don't really have a crazy busted Mana Drain, though. This deck does not go ape with this card. Okay, fetch lands. Topiary Stopper is what I'm going to cast here. Let's maybe save the multicolored stuff. No, I still want... I mean, I need a second blue to some degree. So let's get you, and then find Island or Plains. Probably Island, because I have a Plains in my hand. I don't need a bunch of white sources, so... Alright, look at the disparity. Like, look at the board state difference between me and my opponent right now. It's just the power of the strongest color in the game. Format. Look what they have to do to mimic a fraction of my power. So, here... and cast my commander. I don't need Mana Drain. Wait, do I actually don't even need to crack the fetch land? So, let's get... Could get the black one. My opponent does have Urborg. This could actually matter. Not likely, but it can. So we shall make a show of it. Station for 0, let's go. Oh, there it all goes. I mean, they blew up their own mana rock, so I'm not really upset with that. Yep, and I can just once more do it again. Don't really need mana drain. Sure, I can just do it again. Don't need the cast cavern either. Look at that. Let's get the red one. And then start crewing random stuff. Let the LARP commence. Guardian Project? Yeah, maybe. Card draw nonsense is okay, I guess. They reanimate my Stomper. Very strange. Well, it makes sense if that's what you need. Just looks kind of funny. I'm going to recast my commander yet again. Named Jellyfish. I think I'm going to stop crewing, because my opponent can swing for 2, and that's going to add up. Or stationing, whatever. Of course. Oh wait, they can't take odds. Alright, never mind. Thought they took my that other thing. Alright, don't you love it when your commander dies 5 times in a row and you lose still? Surely you have no more removal spells. It's only been 20. There's only been 20. Oh, you just have more removal. Okay, you got it. Mono removal. My opponent only cast removal spells, and I lost. Fun. Removal, 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 removal. Oh, and also Damnation, blowing up their own mana dork. Mono removal. Fun. Mana Drain had no basis there. I'd have to, like, not cast Mana Drain, or not cast my commander, and I don't know why I would ever do that. It would just die anyways. So. Love all those lands we had. How do you not go for your commander? That's insane. Let's play you, and then pass. Sylvan Ranger? What? Let's play... I guess this, like that. But wait, there's more. Alright, my opponent did really weird things and lost. Cool. Look at that. No interaction to the Hydra. Lose the game. That was a very strange game. Which we seem to be winning the strange games and losing all the other ones. Because every time I win, I feel like I'm saying how strange the game was. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. I wish fetch lands were just not in the format, just for the sake of speed. I just wish they weren't in the game. Oh yes, perfect mana rock on 2, as is all Garuda tradition. I need no further green, really, well, as it stands. That's actually fine, I guess. As weird as it looks, I think it's just fine. The old turn 2 Llanowar Elves. Definitely not at its peak there. Okay, well, perfect mana curve. Excellent. I can kill that card. And then I can... I already played a land, so... That doubles their commander's stuff. I need a land here. Or it would be ideal to have such a thing. Opponent wants Wash Away. Interesting. Plains in Hollowed Fountain. Keeps it in the graveyard. Not a good sign. Oh, crap. I played these in the wrong order. Oh no! I'm an idiot. Leave it to me. I don't think Scute Swarm even matters, given the situation. Alright, so exile target non-land creature, return to the battlefield, destroy if no other creature has greater power. Excellent. And pass. Yeah, this isn't doing anything. Okay. So now I just lose. To reanimate. Opponent mills one of the 2 6-drops in my entire deck. And it's probably the vastly superior one. Cool. Fun. Why not just get high rolled into oblivion? They had 2 mana rocks that game, by the way. Just had 2 mana rocks in their opening hand, and then like just didn't mill any mana related cards. So excellent. Glad we're playing this. So far, this commander is either terrible, or my opponents have just drawn perfectly. It's been a mix of the both. It's been a mix of both of those things. Excuse me. It has been a fair mix. It's not just my opponents exclusively having the best 7 cards in their 100-card singleton decks. That doesn't work, so I have to play that one. What the heck is that? Whenever the artifact you control... Okay, that's weird. Oh yes, Ancient Tomb. So, here, fetch land, Actually, I don't need to play the fetch land. So I suppose I just won't. Okay. Opponent somehow found something better than their commander to do. None of these matter really in any juncture in this matchup, so let's just get a blue one. Does this fly? I guess it doesn't. Certainly ideal. The Terminator doesn't block. I'm gonna draw here, because I'm the one with the Skrelv. So I'm just gonna draw. And I'm not going to swing with the Lauren. I'm just swing with that. The 5/5 doesn't block, I thought. Oh, it only blocks flyers. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Gotta read. Take action. 1, 2, 3. Huh. Alright. Well, that was probably a sizable blunder. Whoops. I saw the couldn't block symbol, I just assumed. It couldn't block. Fortunately, I still in this. It's not like recasting my commander is ever a bad thing. It does continuously do stuff, so... is it 9 damage? I guess I'll block one of these, yeah. Don't want to die at a complete nowhere, at least, if I can help it. Mythweaver Pock is pretty scary, but my opponent just blocks with their commander and recasts it, which is not ideal. But it is what it is. Oh, wait a minute. They can't block it because of Skrelv. Did my opponent just commit Sudoku? They might have. I think my opponent might have made a little bit of a mistake here. 12. They block 2. Dead exactly? Red. Cast that. Swing. They block 2 and they take 15. Huh, yeah. Alright, well. Either the math was not part of their radar when they attacked, or they just felt... Hold on. Is it ever reasonable to... Was lethal in play? I think it was onboard lethal, right? Because they knew I could recast this, and they knew Pock was going to make another land, and they knew what this could do. So, maybe a little bit of mistake there, but just because they made that mistake doesn't mean they're back in it or anything, because these would just have to block, and that doesn't feel too ideal, right? It's not like my opponent is pulling ahead by blocking, right? Especially if it's a chump block. That Wait a minute. I would not have had that scenario had I not swung here and they blocked. Because this entered with a land, and I needed every point of damage, right? Assuming they blocked 2 here and taken exactly lethal. So this dying actually mattered because I got lands out of it. Very strange, because if I didn't do that, I wonder if my opponent would have swung. And then maybe I just, like, don't trade or something? Yeah, this game could have been very different if I didn't just sack attack my commander. Huh. Alright, I'm now over it. I'm now over this commander. I'm done. I'm donezo. Should have been donezo like 2 hours ago, honestly. Okay, so I started off excellent. Like, really, really hot. And then it was almost 2 hours of losing. I, like, full stop, 2 hours in a row. Not just, like, I won once and then I kept... No, like, it was 2 hours straight I lost. Some of those games were really long and not necessarily grindy. It was kind of over, and then I just started watching my opponent do things and just didn't concede for some reason. So it's my fault. But this is... It felt good to start, and then it suddenly hit a wall of not only hyper-efficient answers to everything I was doing, even if that thing was like Utopia Sprawl Mossborn Hydra on the play. I was just being stonewalled by pseudo-perfect answers for well over an hour straight. It's going to happen sometimes. I had to keep playing just to see, you know, when I could start winning again. And when I did start winning, I noticed every time I won, I was like, huh, that was a weird game. So I suppose with that logic, it is just a weird commander. The stationing of your lands doesn't really ever matter. If you have an artifact style deck with this, I guess you could keep getting the blue one and then stationing the blue one for a bunch of big blue mana. I don't know what you're doing with all of that mana, right? You are just a green deck. You could just go the better line and go that route. The green one, again, it's nice to have Gaia's Cradle, but you don't necessarily need Gaia's Cradle by the time you would get to this one, because you're just playing green cards and you get to 12 mana really fast anyways. So it doesn't really matter to do that one. The white one came up, I think, a single time. I copied like an Esper Sentinel. I think that's what I did. Not really that exciting. If you copy your Lander tokens, they're not 2/1s. They're just parked Rampant Growth tokens. They don't get the stats that this leaves. So I did end up copying one of them and had found out that way. But, I mean, I didn't think about it. Just something to think about. But this one sort of plays alright with the blue one, with artifacts, I guess. But again, you have to take the time to station, which means you're not attacking your opponent. And you can only really station, quote-unquote, for free the first time. Well, no, that's not true. This has Vigilance, so this card specifically can continuously station. And so can preceding Lander tokens, because they don't, like, enter attacking or anything. So it comes with its own stationing stats. More than I thought it did initially. But yeah, the red one, I think there was one game, or at least according to chat at that point, that the red one would have won me a game. I don't think that was even true. I would have needed 2 of them, and then the first one would have had to be stationed, and all of that would have had to have happened without me actually attacking my opponent, given all the 1/1s I was making that game. So I don't know how true that was. But I guess there was one game in that giant chunk of time, well over 3 hours, of just playing that the red one might have done something, but not really. I never went for the black one where it really would have mattered, I think. I don't exactly have giant creatures to sacrifice, but sometimes that could matter. Again, this is sometimes. Most of the times, not really. So stationing your lands is like splash value that most of the time, even if you do get to it, is just not going to matter. You actually generate so much mana off of this thing, if that's something you're interested in doing, with honestly just the 2/1s on top of the free lands and bouncing this with flicker effects, that you don't even really need the blue or green one for mana, because you just generate enough of it off of your own commander. And again, you're already playing green, so you can just do that as well. But I did feel like my top end was, or rather, because of that, I felt like my top end was a bit shy. Like, just casting nuclear bombs felt like something I was actually able to do rather consistently in the games that weren't just over immediately, which, again, there was a massive wall of decks that just said, I don't care what you're doing, I'm going to win. Someone actually had such a good opener. This is crazy. One player had, like, I played a turn 1 Mana Source, as one does, and into, I think it was either Mossborn or something else, and my opponent, like, declined a damnation that they could have grabbed out of the graveyard because they had something better to do. Instead of sweeping my board full of mana sources and whatnot, my opponent was like, no, I actually have something better to do. And they did. They had a game-winning line instead. It was just... stuff like that happened a lot today, and I tried to just play more than I normally do, just to see if, you know, I could get more actual games in, and my opponents weren't just drawing, like, the perfect 3 cards out of their 99 singleton decks. But, I mean, sometimes it's just going to happen, right? Sometimes you're just going to have a day where 4 people in a row, or actually 40 people in a row, just have the insane nuts, like, recognizably the nuts, because I would have the nuts. I would have Utopia Sprawl, Mox, Bloom Tender, Commander, and then like Mana Drain. It's like, that's crazy. But my opponents were just not caring about that, because what they had was even crazier, if you can believe it. I really did get stonewalled by just a massive wall of really, really hyper-efficient openers from a lot of different kinds of decks, and the typical lot of green stuff. I maybe could have done a little bit more to answer those things, right? So maybe more removal. I don't really know if I like that much, but it's okay. More... I don't even really know what. I know there's one big card I don't own, which is Subtlety, right? You could run Subtlety, although there is not actually a ton of blue cards in here that you just always have Subtlety. But that is one card that would have proven to have been useful more today than ever, honestly. So if you have Subtlety, definitely put it in. If you're wondering why none of my lists ever put it in there, it's because I don't own it. I burned my Mythic on World Weave, and I don't regret it. Every time I played this on turn 2, or honestly even turn 3, you just kind of win. I think this card probably was a mistake. That word is thrown around way too much, in my opinion, but here I truly think it is actually true. I think World Weave should not exist. I don't really know why they thought this would be a good idea. There's already cards that are like kind of crazy, like Combi Flare on turn 1 is disgusting. Really, just Cultivate in general is gross. Just especially on turn 2, right, with any of the 1-mana things. But this thing is really weird. With your commanders dying over and over, it can already pay for itself with the land it shows up with, and you just play a land every turn. But with a card like this, you don't even need to do that. This essentially turns every single green commander into Golos, where it just shows up with a land, and then it could just continuously pay for itself if it dies over and over. This also doesn't necessarily get basic lands. It can get anything. I don't really get the idea. This would have, maybe to a degree, been vastly more balanced if it was exclusively basics. So then you can't just... like, you can't just find every land, and there's a restriction. Like, oh, my deck has to have a healthy amount of basic lands so that this does something. Which I would say the basic... Actually, you know what? Having just said that, I think the amount of basic lands I have in my deck right now is about where I would place this card if it was like, oh, I'm running basics because of this. I think this is actually the right amount anyways. So that might not even fix it, right? Like, I didn't think that if it was basics only, I would run more than I was. And it doesn't say that. So I don't even know if that fixes it. And if you're mono green, it doesn't matter. You have infinite basics. If you're two colors, you probably also have infinite basics. So yeah, that actually doesn't really solve it. I don't know what solves this card, other than maybe make it cost 4 or 5 to put it more reasonable with other cards. Like Omen Path's Journey is 4 mana, and you get 1 land a turn. This is 3 mana, and you just get infinite lands forever until it is blown up. Very strange card. This is just busted. It is. I think this card was probably a mistake. Probably a mistake, and that's really saying something given the context of Historic Brawl. If this is a format with mana drain, then I guess it really doesn't matter if this is busted. But, you know, if they want to go down this route with this format, then I suppose anything goes. But still, very strange card. 3 mana, basically omniscience is what this felt like every time I cast it. It wasn't at its most egregious in this deck because I wasn't playing a wall of really expensive things, although I could have. Again, I felt like I was ending games with way too much mana that was not spent. But I don't know. Those are the games I was winning, not the ones I was losing. The games I was losing, I did not necessarily have a bunch of excess mana, right? So I don't know. True excess mana, casting a bunch of big stuff really works out truly in the end for this commander. But yeah, so if you like the Bant Flicker hexproof thing, or not hexproof, excuse me, just the Bant Flicker thing, then I suppose this is solid. I don't hate it. It would be amazing if it was 3 mana. I noticed it quite significantly, especially playing against stuff like... was it not Derevi? Well, Derevi actually, yes. But Helga was like sort of a better version than this, and has the added benefit of just every time you play against someone who has it, at least today, they just play it on turn 2. With Mox, it's a lot easier, but you know, you have all the mana dorks and stuff. Like this, imagine this commander on turn 2, and that's about what Helga's kind of doing. Sometimes Helga's actually doing more than that. Sometimes it's actually just more than a 3 mana version of this. So I would say this is probably about the same, if not just better than this. I really wish this cost 3 mana, and maybe it was like a 3 mana 3/3 or something. I don't know. If we're going to have cards like World Weave in the game, I don't know why this Alchemy card was now just decided it should be a 4 mana 4/4 and not like a 3 mana 3/3, because you would always prefer it to be a 3 mana 3/3 if you could help it. Definitely. I added Planeswalkers later, so I had different avenues. Because I got slam dunked by 2 hours of just perfect answers, I tried to go a different avenue with Planeswalkers to attack my opponent that involves me not losing immediately to Toxic Deluge. And that didn't pan out. I just never ended up casting any of these. But I think they're solid. Bant creature decks can pretty reliably get away with these. I mean, this one kind of wants you to play creatures the normal way. If it's your commander, you're usually just doing the proliferate scam, but normally this actually would enjoy you having creatures and stuff. But yeah, all in all, it felt good at the start, and then just sort of turned into an average commander by the end of it. I just got all the wins in the front and all the losses in the back. I think I did most assuredly go negative with this deck, and I don't normally... Actually, how many wins did I get all the way through? Especially the amount of time I played. I got 9 wins. I definitely lost more than 9 games with this over 3 hours of playing this, so take that for what you will. Again, I still feel like I got unlucky given the answers that 2-hour window of experience I had. But it probably is just an average okay commander. It's not crazy. It doesn't have to be. You know, it's fine. It's playable. Perfectly playable, which is a good thing considering the new set, the new little mini set there. Don't worry, I can do it. I promise. Wait, do I have all of them? Do I actually have all of them? Did I do the right? I did the right format. Yeah, it's not standard roll. You wouldn't be able to see these in standard roll. Yeah, all of these, like this one's solid, this one's solid, this one's solid, this one's solid. So I'd say maybe this one is. I would not recommend this one. This one is also just worse than like Grenzo and stuff, and it's also kind of like Laughing Jasper Flint, sort of. Maybe better than Laughing Jasper Flint, so it might have that going for it. But all in all, I don't know. You could just play something else. This one does not look like it's going to get there. There's probably a reason why I have never seen these two ever in my opponent's command zone. This one I've seen once, and then it fizzled out and didn't do anything. But it's okay, I guess. I don't necessarily hate it. White Weenie Beatdown, maybe, or something like that. Not the best mono-white commander for that, but it's cool. It's a cool one. This is the last one I haven't... Oh, no, that's not true. I have to play this one, too. But these are the last two that I have to play. But yeah, all in all, for this set, the reason I'm bringing this up is because when it comes to these mini sets for this format, they're usually all bad except like one. In this case, it's about 50-50, right? Was it 4 of the 7? Yeah, 4 of the 7 seem to be pretty solid, which I must admit is kind of cool. I like that. And they're not busted. This one's like a weird combo. This is like a weird value engine thing close to Muldrotha, sort of, in Yarok or whatever. This is like a Bant flying beatdown mana ramping flicker thing. And then there's just true slivers that isn't just the first sliver but isn't slivers. You like actually have to play slivers with this one. So I actually am a huge fan of this one. So yeah. I know none of that has to do with what we just did, but yeah, all in all, it's solid. Can recommend if you like the strategy, and that's it. Definitely put Subtlety in your deck, though. I don't own it. Put it in your deck. It's a good thing to flicker. It's good against some of the things that won against me when I feel like I was just winning and then I suddenly wasn't. So, just one of those cards to think about. And craft World Weave. Just craft it. Do it. I crafted it today. Every time it was in play, I won. Craft this card. It's busted. It is busted. Alright. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.